What's up, everybody? It's Chris Surratt bringing you another edition of the Car Concierge Show, the show that helps with the buying, selling, maintaining, and repairing of your vehicle. On today's show, we're going to talk about police chases and car crashes that happen when police chase other vehicles. And we're doing that because I've had a lot of time, and there's been a lot of police chases that have ended up with massive injuries, massive death tolls over the last couple of months. So we've done a couple of stories about them. And of course, I watch a lot of OPL and live PD and things of that nature. And so I see a lot of police chases. I see a lot of police crashes. And I've seen other people, other than the police officer or the person that they're chasing, get hurt in these instances. And it had me thinking a lot about how I felt about police chasing, how I was stating earlier that because a lot of states, of course, have very strict rules about police chases and when police can chase people and when they should stop and how they will just automatically stop somebody from chasing a police officer. And I was personally not a fan of that. I was a big guy that would think, you got to chase these criminals because you got to catch them and you got to put them in jail for whatever they've done. But I might have changed my story on that. But let's check out a couple of stories about some police chases that have happened over the country the last couple of days. And then we're going to check out an interesting story about a young man who decided he was going to take his job and turn it into an illegal rental business and then get away with it. So let's start off. We're going to start off in Chicago, where there was a police chase. And hold on one second. There was a police chase where someone stole an ambulance and decided he was going to take it for a joyride and then crash. Let's check it out.
So we're going to be going out to an interesting story. I want to first show you this live vantage point that we have there in Chicago. And so we're following this from some of our partners there at Fox 32, WFLD. They were following this story with their Sky Fox in the Sky as there in Chicago, a stolen ambulance crashed during a police chase. So I want to show you this dramatic video that we have now here in our newsroom, showing as Sky Fox approaches this chase. As you can see, that ambulance right there on your screen has been marked stolen. And so police officers were in pursuit there in Chicago today.
First, you have to ask yourself, what kind of person would steal an ambulance? I mean, was it a situation where they were, a passenger in the ambulance and they got pulled over? I mean, not pulled over, but got picked up because they were in some kind of injury or something, and then the police established that they had a criminal record, maybe decided they was going to, pull them out the ambulance, throw them in jail. Dude said, forget that. Let me go and jump in the seat, kick these people out, take off in the ambulance. How would a person get about getting the keys or stealing the ambulance? I just don't get it.
And ultimately, during that, this happened on Chicago's west side. It led to a man's arrest as well. And so what we ultimately know is that this incident happened around 4 p.m. local time. But there you see it. That was the crash of that ambulance into another car.
It was a police car.
Appearing to jump out to try to get away. Police immediately surrounding. And so you can see just how many officers responded there to this incident.
I got no crime nowhere else.
In multiple directions. That white,
look at that.
That car in
wait,
front.
Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 police officers for this dude stealing the ambulance. Isn't that overkill? Y'all ain't got no other crime that's going on in Chicago that y'all need to be taken care of, but this dude stealing the ambulance that, could hurt people that he would hit in the ambulance, but y'all stopped that. So it's policing in the world is strange to me.
Seems to be a small car and a white car in front of that one, moving out of the way, attempting to, as police are surrounding this person.
Here go 2 more.
After they stole
3 more.
An ambulance.
And
so again, it happened around 4 p.m. Eastern, I should say local time there,
5.
near Chicago Avenue. And so Loretto Hospital did confirm that one of its ambulances was stolen this afternoon. And so the hospital did say in a statement that
That
we
is
are aware
crazy.
of the stolen ambulance
caught him.
incident
Why
that
y'all
occurred
still
at Loretta
pulling
Hospital
up?
this afternoon. The matter is currently under active investigation in coordination with law enforcement. But several Chicago police officers were reportedly injured during this pursuit after
Okay.
the ambulance struck multiple squad cars.
Okay.
The chase,
Okay.
though, as you see, ended when the ambulance collided with a police cruiser and rear-ended yet another vehicle. Dozens of officers surrounded that suspect following the crash and took them into custody.
That might
Currently, what
explain
we
a
know
little
right
bit.
now is that COPA is investigating, that's the Civilian Office of Police Accountability, investigating this incident
COPA.
and described it as an officer-involved shooting. What's currently unknown, though, at this time is whether any of those civilians or responding officers were injured. The man's identity has not been released at this time.
Wait, back up.
But anyone in the Chicago area
Stop, back
with
up.
that COPA is investigating, that's the Civilian Office of Police Accountability, investigating this incident and described it as an officer-involved shooting.
Who got shot?
Currently,
Who got shot? Did the dude get shot, or did the police get shot? I missed something.
an Office of Police Accountability, investigating this incident and described it as an officer-involved shooting. What's currently unknown, though, at this time is whether any of those civilians or responding officers were injured. The man's identity has not been released at this time, but anyone in the Chicago area with information on this
Another
incident
cop
are
pull up.
urged to call COPA's office there as well. And so this dramatic video, wanted to make sure we brought it to you. You can see that suspect there being dragged along by
Carried.
those deputies
He's being
after
carried.
having this ambulance stolen in the city.
All right, so I mean, what are we really talking about? That it seems like a gentleman decided he was going to steal an ambulance. They were very vague on the whens, wheres, and whys, and they start talking about a police-involved shooting. So we don't know who got shot. They didn't say who got shot. I was assuming police-involved shooting standardly means that police shot somebody, but that would I didn't see any situation where they said that they shot the guy. It didn't seem like it was necessary to shoot him because all the police officers was there and they, did this frontal pit maneuver to stop the ambulance and get him out of the vehicle. Now, mind you, I would understand that all of those police officers there, because they did say that he injured a whole bunch of police officers, and the blue shield is strong, so they decided that they was going to come at this guy with the ultimate force, and that's a standard thing that police officers do when police officer injured, and I have no problem with that. But it's just one of those situations where we are getting to a point in the criminality of people stealing cars and being in police chases and running from police officers to the point where the police chases, I can kind of agree, might not always be necessary. Now there's situations where you chasing a murderer, something in that vein. I would truly believe that you might want to continue to chase that guy because you want to get those type of people in custody. And there's a lot of situations going to be like that, but there also are going to be lots of situations where a police chase is not going to be something that we should do because of people who are getting hurt that are not related to the chase. Okay, so that's where it's going to bring us to our second story. Our second story, where there was a police chase and it ended up injuring a lot of people. Let's check it out.
They were out in Ybor having a good time, expecting to go home safely, and a careless, reckless driver takes everybody's lives in his hands and just ended this night in a situation that's never going to be the same for these individuals.
Breaking news as we come on to the air. A night out in Ybor City turns deadly after police say a speeding driver crashed into a group of people. Right now, 4 people are dead and 11 others are hurt. Now, this all happened around 12:30 this morning on East 7th Avenue in 10 Tampa Bay. News reporter Nick Valturo just got to the scene. And Nick, please tell us what investigators are saying at this time.
Yeah, Emerald, definitely a very chilling, and as you can see, also still a very active scene, because this all came to a violent end over here on 7th Avenue in Ybor City, and that's where we are, in the heart of Ybor City. And if I just take a step away, you can still see there are investigators outside. There's glass, debris, and what's left of a business front after a speeding car came barreling through the area. Now, Tampa Police Chief Lee Burkhaw says it started right around 12:30 when they spotted two cars racing westbound on Hillsborough Avenue, heading toward I-275. One driver, they decided to bail off. The other kept going south on the interstate. Now, that driver exited into downtown, where Florida Highway Patrol troopers, they tried to make a traffic stop at a Nebraskan Palm, even attempted a pit maneuver, we're told, but they could not get that driver to stop. Now, when troopers tried to back off, the car flew into Ybor, and moments later, it slammed into this business just east of 15th Street near Bradley's. Now, police say it plowed through more than a dozen people who were outside. Now, 4 people were killed, 7 others were hurt. Tampa police haven't said what business was hit.
All right, so the first thing that we have to establish is that, and goes into my whole new idea or new realization that these police chases are extremely dangerous. My first thought is that he was street racing, which, as much as we can say that it is a crime, it's not a crime that is hurting anybody. It's not a crime that's destroying anything in particular. So the simple fact that, because the fact they let the other, driver pretty much go. They stepped off him and continued to chase this guy. And the idea that a crime that, albeit it's a crime, it's not a crime that is hurting anybody, destroying anything. It's not a serious enough crime that I would consider it a crime that you want to enter a police chase, specifically into areas where there are other people, because of situations like this. And that's what we're talking about, is that, when it comes to police chases, I'm in agreement now of those states that say certain police chases should be called off for the safety of the people. Let's continue real quick. We'll go over it after.
Or how badly damaged it is, but we're looking right outside at Bradley's, and you can see the damage right there. Chief Lee Burkhaw, you heard him, he called it just a senseless loss of life. And back out here, investigators have been on the scene. They have arrested a 22-year-old Silas Sampson, who is now charged with vehicular homicide. We know there are other victims that are in the hospital. They're expected to be in stable condition. Another 2 also refused to be treated at the scene. They did not want to go to the hospital, but of course it's a very chilling scene. And this comes after that violent incident just 2 years ago in Ybor City, that Halloween shooting where several people were hurt, dozens were actually injured. And of course this brings back bad memories of that. So we're just talking to people over here, trying to get a little bit more information. But as you can see, investigators are still out here taking a look and picking up the pieces after what happened. But right now, reporting live in Ybor City, Nick Volturo, 10 Tampa Bay News.
Nick, thank you. Certainly keeping everyone in our thoughts.
Yeah, that's another reason why I don't do a lot of going out anymore. It's just not safe in this world to enjoy yourself. It seems like the enjoyment of life is under attack. The ability to drive where you want to go, the ability to go out clubbing with your friends to have a good time. It's all seems to be under attack. Travel seems to be under attack. It just seems like every facet of life that we enjoy seems to be in some way, shape, or form under attack. And when it comes to these police chases, it's horrible that all these people have lost their lives, have been injured, and it really truly seems like a police chase that was unnecessary to me, because the fact they pulled off the other guy. If they pulled off the other guy because they couldn't catch him, he was too fast, whatever the case may be, they could have pulled off this guy. If you were close enough and you were chasing this guy, then you have cameras all on your front of your police car. So you got pictures and camera footage of his license plate. You probably got a picture or footage of his face. You got a picture or footage of the other person as well. Once you have those things, you can let them go. You can come pick them up later. You can send them notifications that they're in trouble or going to be charged with this, that, and the other. Just like all those fancy cameras do when you run a stop sign. we live in a world where there's lots, it's almost impossible to get away from crime nowadays. I mean, the only people who truly getting away with crimes right nowadays is politicians, because most crimes are being done in places or being done in situations where a camera's going to catch you doing it. Some paper trail is going to catch you in the act. It is extremely, extremely hard to do crime. And the fact that it is extremely hard to do crime and to run stop signs and to do illegal street racing is because there's no way you can stop from them seeing you doing it. And if they can see you do it, then they don't have to jeopardize the rest of the people of the world by chasing you down to catch you. Specifically in this situation, I'm pretty sure Silas didn't expect to kill those people. I know he didn't want to kill those people. I didn't know he didn't want to injure those people. He was just trying to get away. And as a young 22-year-old man, you know, your adrenaline's pumping, you just got done racing this other cat. It's a horrible situation nonetheless. And what we truly have to do is try to continue to make sure that we avoid people dying that are not involved in the situation. Now, we should avoid all people dying altogether. But when people die who are out just enjoying themselves and having a good time, enjoying their lives, that has to make us open our eyes that there's a problem. And the problem now is that the ability for police to chase people for any and every reason now is not the way to do it anymore. I truly, and this is going against everything I thought for a very long time, but I truly believe that those states that are saying to their police officers, hey, if it's not a serious crime, don't chase them. If they're just going to get a ticket, if it's a misdemeanor or something, don't chase them. Because we're absolutely, unequivocally losing too many people who are not involved in the chase, who are just going about their lives and enjoying themselves. And that is the ultimate problem. All right, last but not least, we're going to really quickly talk about this gentleman. And he decided that he was going to use his job to do some good business. Now, mind you, it's some criminality, and you cannot speak positively about criminality. But what this young man did and got away with, because he still ain't got caught, it's really interesting. Let's check it out.
Good evening. I'm Christy Casciano.
I'm Jeff Kulikowski. We are putting you on the lookout this evening for this man.
Yeah, Syracuse Airport Police are telling us this man, 31-year-old Milton Thompson of Syracuse, stole close to 50 rental cars from the airport. News Channel 9's Allie Elkins joining us live at the airport tonight with more. Allie, when did somebody finally report all of the cars stolen?
Airport police say that the investigation began in August. They're putting you on the lookout for a man who they say stole rental cars out of the airport parking lot over the course of several months. Police say they're looking for 31-year-old Syracuse resident Milton W. Thompson III in connection with 47 rental vehicles, altogether worth over $1 million.
He was using access that he had behind the scenes, insider knowledge, to facilitate the stealing of these vehicles, to bring them to locations throughout the county or the city of Syracuse, and then was working with others to have them rented out to other individuals.
Police say there's no rhyme or reason to the type of vehicles he stole. They're encouraging him to turn himself in. At Syracuse Hancock International Airport, Allie Elkins, News Channel 9.
All right, if he turns himself in, we're going to let you know to learn more about.
All right. What we know is that this young man, he was smart. Let's face it. This is a smart maneuver. He used his insider access as a guy who worked at Avis, and knowing that there's several rental cars sitting on these airport lots for these rental companies to use. And what he also knew is that they weren't using a lot of them, because a lot of people are not traveling as much as they were. A lot of people are not renting cars from the airport as much as they were, because it's more expensive to rent cars from the airport. So Avis, just like all the other rental places at the airports, have been suffering for business quite some time. So if he's one of those guys, It's one of those places probably that he ran it in the front, probably had a guy in the back who detailed the cars when they came back in. That's pretty much it. Him and them, probably 2-3 people manning the shop, right? And he just used that information to, I'm not going to say it's smart, but to do something intuitive. You have all these cars sitting on this lot and they're not being used. Nobody's monitoring them. Nobody's checking their mileages. Nobody's doing anything about them. You can move these cars anytime you want because you have all the keys to them. So what did he decide to do? He decided to start making that Turo money. You know what Turo money is? Turo money is when a person uses their personal car, rents it out people to drive when they're in town. It's like a rental car business through your phone. And he did this with the cars from Avis. And it's an amazing idea because think about it. He could have put all these vehicles on Turo. That is what? Over 47 cars on Turo, and probably lived in a place that was fairly busy with people coming in and out, and he could make his Turo prices on. So he could beat all the competitors when it came to the price of renting a car. I bet he made a lot of money, guys. I bet he did. I mean, they said that the cars themselves worth over $1 million, but think about that. If you rent a car for $25 a day and you keep it for 10 days, and he ain't tripping if you keep it for more or less. He ain't even tripping if you don't pay. He ain't even tripping if you don't bring the car back. You know how many cars is on the road right now, just people just driving them around, not a care in the world, ain't paid no bills or nothing like that. They don't care because they know he don't care. And if they find out about this, well, they probably gonna keep driving the cars until they get pulled over, because now all those cars are in a system of being stolen. So that all the tags, all the information for these vehicles are in police custody in the initiation of being stolen cars. So any person who caught driving these vehicles are gonna get pulled over, gonna get pulled out because of a felony stop with guns drawn on them, because technically they're in a stolen car. So it is a fantastic business move to use products that are not being used at the time by a company to make yourself money. Now, he could have probably gotten away with this if he would have just Turoed them cars and just brought them back and put them on the lot. But they're saying these cars are stolen, which means they don't have access to them anymore. They're not on the lot anymore. That is the biggest problem I see. Because truthfully, I think that if he would have did the Turo thing and they Turoed the cars and then they brought them back to the airport, he was going to get a caught eventually. But he was going to make money, and it was going to be, more of a situation where they wouldn't be after him for stealing $1 million worth of property. So, what can we say? It's bad to do crimes, guys. Don't do crimes. Stay legit. Be in the up and up. This young man is going to get caught eventually. He's going to go to jail for a decent amount of time. Not probably that much time, because he ain't hurt nobody. And he just used the business for its business property. So he probably pay a good fine, probably do a couple months, maybe a year or two. They won't get him for much. He'll be back on the streets. But we can understand one thing. He's not stupid. And he probably made a good penny off of Avis or all the other rental places that had cars sitting in that lot that he had access to the keys. So, I always say that if you have the mind to create an idea that is going to commit a crime that is going to bring you millions of dollars, then you have the ability to have a mind to create an idea that's going to bring you millions of dollars that is not a crime. So, hopefully, this young man decides to turn himself in, pays for his discretions, and gets back out on the streets where he can use his intelligence, because we can't call him stupid, to make a better life for himself. Because he did something that, not that bad an idea. Alright guys, I'm going to let y'all go and get up out of here. I am Chris Surratt. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Car Concierge Show. It's a beautiful, beautiful day in California. I'm burning up in my apartment, so I'm going to hit the streets, go to the beach, enjoy myself. I suggest you do too. And I'm out. Peace.